Positivity.
Positivity. Positivity abounds within these borders.
Hi. My question is actually about Star Trek.
That would be the next room over, ma'am. This is the Reading Rainbow panel.
I just wanted to ask you to comment on the visor and how it sort of transformed Geordi's disability into an extraordinary, unique ability, and what that says about the vision of the future that you were helping portray.
If I understand the question correctly, and I'm not sure that I do, the visor did indeed have an impact on the way the character was realized. In a real practical sense. When I put the visor on, 80% of my vision was taken away. Most notably, I could not see my feet, which is only valuable if you want to navigate without tripping or bumping into shit. However, as the chief engineer, Geordi could never be seen looking for where his feet are because he always had to be looking at the horizon to see what crock of crap was hurtling in his direction that he had to address. So it really became important to me that I figure it out really quickly how to get around the set without the visual reference of where my feet were. And it just took practice. It just took learning how to do that, so that every move he made was with confidence and a sense of purpose. And it is that that sense of purpose, I think, that is what drives the character. He's got shit to do, and he's the right guy to get shit done.
Next. Oh, quite a line. Look at that.
Hi.
Hi.
What was your favorite TNG episode?
There's one in every room, isn't there? My favorite TNG episode. I don't know. I kind of like the ones where we didn't have to wear spacesuits. Right? I loved it whenever Geordi and Data were Holmes and Watson. Yeah. Mostly because I had so many pockets. I had a vest, I had a jacket. There are no pockets in spacesuits. Did you know that? We didn't have any pockets. Our tunics were always riding up. We had to do the Picard maneuver constantly. Pull them down. I liked having costumes where I could put my hands in my pockets. Those were my favorite episodes of all. Thank you.
Where would you keep your sides? Because on most TV sets, they give you those little printouts that are this big, your sides for the day, like when you don't have pockets.
Yeah. You see the problem. Everyone had a unique solution. Use your imagination.
Hi, my name is Michael. Welcome to Canada, and thank you for coming.
Thank you. You know, I love city. Toronto is one of my favorite cities on the planet. That is the square biz. I lived here. I lived here for about for 6 months for pre-principal and post photography on a little Christmas movie that has actually, I think, it's become kind of a classic around holidays here in Canada. Have any of you ever seen the movie Blizzard? Right? Directed by Kunta Kinte. That's right. They had the black man direct the movie about snow.
Knowing Brent Spiner's tremendous affection for cats, whatever happened to Spot? And do you have any dogs or cats?
I do have a dog, and I don't let Brent near it because of what happened to Spot.
I heard it was a goat, but I guess I was misinformed.
Well, I wouldn't know about that. Thank you. You're welcome, sir.
Next up.
You have your question written on your iPhone?
No, I'm going to tape this and
You're going to tape this.
show it to Matt Myra because I know that he's.
Are you going to show it to Matt?
Yes.
Matt, Alpha 39!
I was hoping that would happen. I was born in the 80s, so both Reading Rainbow and The Next Generation were the formative things of my life. And the fact that you were on both clearly made you my favorite actor, which was awesome.
You, sir, have such impeccable taste.
I truly do. I truly do. Absolutely. You can ask my friends. So I wanted to thank you for that. And I was always in special ed classes as I was growing up, and there were people in those classes with physical disabilities, and you were always a hero to them because the character that you played on The Next Generation not only had a physical disability, but turned it into an ability.
Right.
So on behalf of them, I wanted to thank you too.
God bless.
And you're awesome, and keep on going.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Is that a frequent thing when the fans come up to you, to get an autograph, to get their photo taken? Is that a frequent sentiment that you receive?
It is, and I enjoy it. You have to understand that, I was a fan of the original series primarily because of the presence of Nichelle Nichols. I read a lot of science fiction books when I was a kid, and heroes of color were not all that common. So Gene's vision of the future was one that I completely embraced because it embraced me. So to have grown up and represent, again, in Star Trek, for people dealing with physical challenges, what Nichelle Nichols represented for me when I was growing up, seeing oneself represented in the popular culture is immeasurably important for the formation of one's identity and self-image. And I don't think you can underestimate the value of seeing examples that one can relate to in the popular culture, especially when you're growing up. So I'm totally with it.
Is that the greatest legacy that Star Trek will leave, that idea of acceptance, or is it its optimism for the future? Is its technology, how we were talking about how iPads exist now in part because of that vision? Or what is it that is Star Trek?
I think that the legacy of Star Trek is really multifaceted. That there is the technological aspect that, and that's how we create the future, really, by focusing on images, using our imagination, and you have to start somewhere. And Gene's blueprint is, I think, a remarkable model for so many reasons. The technology that is represented in the future on Star Trek has actually helped propel the advancement of technology in our present. You just look at the flip cell phone, modeled after the communicator, the Bluetooth earpiece on Lieutenant Uhuru's communicator. The examples are so rife in our present universe. And then there is the inspirational value. I know for a fact that there is an effort going on that will be announced early this fall, where they are starting the formation of the effort that will lead to humanity's putting human life, in a star system different from our own within the next 100 years. Now, in order to do that, all of the culture, the politics, the organization, the art, the science, the food, everything has to be self-contained because it's going to be a decades-long journey. And in order to get that done, we can only do it on the basis of cooperation and not competition. And it's going to have to be a global buy-in. And so when you think that they're actually thinking about creating what Gene called the Federation of Planets, that's not such a bad deal for coming out of a television series, I think it's pretty cool. I'm really a big fan of Gene's vision, and I think it comes closest to the future I would like to not only live in, but the future I'd like to help create.
first off, my name is Brian Moore,
Hello, Brian.
and as a lot of people here, I was a huge fan of reading Rainbow. Yes, I will admit, and Star Trek. I don't read much book-wise, but I read a lot internet-wise, and Star Trek, I don't know about you, but I always thought, how can I word this? The way they went through space all the time, it's like they were trying to find another world because our world was uninhabitable because of pollution and all that. Like,